Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Adopt a Youth Foundation Personal Development Session. On Friday evening, we have the best people in the house. We have an opportunity to meet and sit at the feet of experts who have been there, who have done that. And not only that they've been there and done that, they're not selfishly holding the draft to themselves, but they're saying, come and see and hear and feast. And so we are very happy. We're excited tonight because in the month of June, the AYF has decided that we are going to help our mentors, our mentees get access to education. There are many ways in which you can get access to education, especially for further education. But one of the ways is through scholarships. I don't know about you, but for me, I had to get help to finance my first degree and also my second degree. I'm very happy for that. And for my first degree, I took out student loan. And then for my master's, I actually got 2 scholarships. So I am thankful for that. And the government of Jamaica has me bonded, but that is okay. That is saying I have job security. Well, tonight we are going to dive deeper into the whole process of getting funding for our education through scholarships, with a key component to the scholarship accessing program, and that is the essay. And at the end of this evening, I'm going to remind you about scholarships that you can get through the AYF. I'm going to whisper something here, so don't tell anybody outside of the meeting. All right? It's just between me and you and everybody who listens to the recording afterwards. The AYF wants to give away scholarships. We just well want to give some young people money to help finance the education. Last year, we had 2 scholarships, and this year, we are giving away more than that. Last year, if we had more persons applying for the tertiary level scholarship, then it would be almost automatic. So we're saying, go ahead and apply. At the end of the presentation, I'll go into that. But allow me to introduce our very special expert in the house. I was reading her bio and I am super impressed by her accomplishment and her abilities that she's bringing to the table. Jaded to the noise, propelled by the prize, a seasoned marketer, visionary, creator, storyteller, and round scholarship consultant, an all-round scholarship consultant. This is Jada Powell. It's no surprise that her ability to take an idea from concept to delivery to produce entertaining, educational, and inspiring pieces has certainly proved instrumental in several creative areas. Production-wise, Ms. Powell is responsible for amplifying the voice of Jamaican youth through her role as a producer for the program Talk Up Youth Radio Show. You know, Talk Up Youth, myself, Talk Up Youth. The producer is on tonight. On the radio program, she's also the mastermind behind the dubs written for Naomi Cohen, Agent Sasko, Yaksta, and other artists. I must admit that I'm not familiar with Yaksta, but that goes to show my age. She has also extended her representation for her Sweet Island Jamaica on several occasions, with her most recent engagement landing her as the country's delegate for the UNESCO's 75th anniversary Youth Forum. Remarkably too, in just 3 years, owing to intense research and development strategies, she has been awarded over, sit down on your seat and listen to this, just 3 years. Listen carefully. She has been awarded over $20 million in scholarship funds, with her applications placing her in the top 98 percentile of all applicants. So you know she knows what she's talking about. She is currently the parish and national champion for Kingston for the NCB Foundation. So with her expertise, she is instrumental in guiding students in finding and applying to the right scholarship based on their needs, perfecting their applications, preparing them for the interviews, and also to help them maintain their scholarship once they get it. All this she does through her scholarship consultancy company, Scholars JA. And I am going to put the link to the Instagram page for Scholars JA in the chat. There it is. Go and follow, like, and tell other people about it. Outside of all of that good stuff, when she's not actively harmonizing words and finding sweet spot for creative and consulting endeavors, Jada is keen on exploring different cultures, perfecting her French, and eating as much pasta as she can. Ladies and gentlemen, could you put some sevens in the chat as we welcome our speaker tonight, Miss Jada Powell. Over to you, Jada.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Richard. Sometimes I forget everything I do, but thank you so much for your warm introduction. And I'm so happy that you two have been able to receive scholarships so that you can further your education. So that's always a plus. Thank you for having me again. I am so happy to be here. I'm so happy to share what I have learned. Yes, today we'll be having a very informative session and I want it to be as engaging as possible. If you have a question, please feel free to let me know by raising your hands and just dropping it in the chat. And if there's anything else I can assist with, I'll be sure to do that. Okay, so I'll be going ahead to share my screen now and we can get into it. So tonight, of course, we are going to be doing scholarship essay and education funding letter writing. So we're going to go into the nitty-gritty of one of the most important parts of accessing a scholarship, accessing those free funds that is available to everybody once you have met a certain scholarship criteria. Okay. Now, the first agenda that we have is just running through brief general scholarship knowledge. Then I will be going into the guidelines in writing a scholarship application essay. Then I will be doing the strategies and best practices to solicit funding that we need. Then we'll have the questions. If you have any questions, of course, you can ask me here and then we'll close. Now, what is a scholarship? Scholarships are financial aid awards granted to students based on a certain criteria. Now, a lot of persons get scared when they hear this. They think that you have to be an A+ student. They think that you have to be amazing and brilliant, and nothing is wrong if you are that. But don't be shy if you are a B student. Don't be shy if you are a student who loves drama. Don't be shy if you are someone who does sports, because there are literally all types of scholarships out there, and you just need to find the perfect match. Right? So just take your time, do your research, do not be intimidated. As Richard said, AYF has a lot of scholarships out there. It's just for you to apply for them and you can be in the running for great funding for your tuition. Now, general guidelines for your scholarship essay, and I can't stress this enough, is to start early. Now, when you are able to start early, you have adequate time to research research on the company, research on the morals, research on the core values. And once you're able to do that, you can tie that into your essay. And that really gives you a little oomph than the other applicants, because that will show to the persons marking the essay that you know about the company. You're interested in not just getting the funding, but you're interested in what they are about. Another thing why it's important to start early is that you're able to articulate better. You're able to express yourself in a more finesse way. You're able to just bring forth all the points that you want to without having to rush yourself. And another thing that is crucial is getting feedback from others. Once you finished early, you can reach out to your teachers or other trusted persons and just ask for the feedback. Is there anything I can change? Is there anything I can improve on this? And once that's done, then you can revise accordingly. Another thing I should stress is that we should try and personalize the application. The scholarship application isn't an academic essay per se, but it is more about your personality, who you are, and why you deserve the scholarship, right? And once you have nailed that, then you'll be able to show the scholarship judges why you are deserving of this scholarship. Now, the main question on all scholarship essays. Now, at the root of all scholarship essays, they want to know why you deserve the scholarship. Why are you the most ideal candidate to receive the funding for your tuition? Because of course, there are sometimes hundreds or even thousands of applicants. And through that all, they want to ensure that whatever financing that they're doing, whatever partnership that they're doing, it's worthwhile not only for you who is getting the tuition, but also for them as a company to ensure that they're making a good investment. So once you're writing your essay, you will, or of course, are expected to speak about your past activities and your experiences, what you have learned throughout your years, what you have contributed to your school, to your community, to your country in general, and what you're also planning to contribute. So basically, it encapsulates your past, present, and future. If there are any questions, again, please feel free to let me know, or you can just go ahead and mute. Now, how to answer scholarship essay prompts. At the root of it, as I said, is them having to learn more about why you deserve the scholarship funding. Now, the first question is, why do you deserve the scholarship? Now, sometimes it's as straight as that. Why do you deserve the scholarship? And the best way to answer is to let them know how the award will help you to pursue your studies. Basically, if you don't get the money, you're not able to go to college, you're not able to finish your education, or you may have to take out loans that will put your family into further debt, or whatever this may be. Now, another thing that you can also mention is what you have done so far in aid of fulfilling these goals. So if you want to become a doctor and you have volunteered several of your hours to different organizations, say for example, hospitals, elderly homes, this is good to let them know that you're one, working towards a goal, and two, you're passionate about what you're intended to study. Another thing that you should also delineate is what the scholarship will help you to do in the future. So apart from allowing you to study worry-free and not having to worry about tuition, what else will it help you to do? Will it help you to further the work you've started so far in your community? Will it help you to assist your family or friends in similar position that you are to elevate themselves? It all depends, because a lot of persons in Jamaica haven't passed high school education, believe it or not. So if you are the first person from your family to go to college, then scholarship persons want to hear. The judges want to hear about your story. That's why it's so important to put who you are into your essay. Another question they may ask is, what are your academic or career goals? Or where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Now, the reason behind this prompt is, one, the scholarship organizers want to ensure that you yourself see a vision for what you intend to do. They want to ensure that you have thought about how you'd like to impact others, how you would like to just make a difference in the community, right? And the best way to answer these questions, I find, are to state your major goals and passions in life and how they're linked to your academic pursuit. So not only is it important to state that you would like to become a doctor, but why would you like to become a doctor? Is it that when you were younger, you were very sickly and interacting with doctors have now heightened your appreciation for them, and you'd also like to give that care and special attention to others? Whatever it may be, it is important to state it in your essay and let persons know how passionate you are about this goal. Now, as I would have mentioned just now, who or what would have inspired you to pursue this goal? Would it be the person that you grew up with? Would it be your teacher? Would it be your parents? Who inspired you to go after this goal? It's so important to learn the why in every situation, because that's what fuel our actions or why. Another thing is, what are you doing to fulfill that goal now? Now, this is something that you'll see come again and again and again. They want to ensure that even though you are looking towards the future, you're also trying to put steps in place to reach that goal. Now, it doesn't have to be anything grand, and I hope you're not being distracted by the noise around me. I'm currently still at work. But if I need to be any loud or need to quiet the location, please let me know. Richard, is my audio clear?
Good to go.
Okay, great. I just want to ensure that you all are hearing me. Are there any questions in the chat so far? I realize that when I am in this mode, I'm not able to see the chat.
There are no questions yet, and I'm monitoring it. And
Okay,
if I see any hands, I'll let you know.
All right, thank you so much. Now, another question that let me ask you is to talk about a time that you may have failed at something or you would have made a mistake. Now, why would they ask you this? Why would they want you to expose yourself like this? Simple, they want you to understand, or they also want to learn from you what you would have learned. They also want to know that, one, you are capable of learning from your experiences and also helping others to not go in the same path. Now, the best way to answer this question is just be clear. What was a mistake, right? Let them know. This is something that I wasn't too sure about, but now that I have dealt with the issue, I know how to move on. What did you learn from the experience? They want to ensure that you've learned, not only been through the experience, but you have learned about how to proceed better. And they also want to know that you have adjusted to ensure that you have made the same mistake again. Now, after you have written your scholarship essay, it's crucial to know that you can also go to other separate organizations and ask for funding, right? You can also go ahead and solicit funds. Now, your funding request letter should include several crucial information, but the most important pointers is it should encapsulate your character. Now, if you aren't writing a essay for an organization, it is good to speak about any spectacular skill you may possess that also preferably is linked to your degree that you are pursuing or linked to the subjects that you'd like to continue on in high school. So if you have started an initiative, if you have started a YouTube channel, Instagram page, WhatsApp group, just helping others. If you are very brilliant in biology and you have helped your peers to understand the topics better and you want to become a biochemist, that is perfect to include. And it is also great if you have referrals to back up those claims. Now, they also in this want to understand why you're the best candidate to receive the funding. Now, based on what you say, they will understand that you require the funding and that you are passionate about what you do and you're intentional about pairing your passions and your career goals. Now, I think a very crucial step that a lot of persons miss is what could happen if you don't receive funding. Now, even though you're asking for the funds and you're telling them how crucial it is, you need to go into the nitty-gritty. Dear sir, madam, this is one of the only opportunities I may have to receive funding to continue my education because of my financial background, because of the present circumstances in my life. You need to be as thorough as possible so the scholarship organizers understand what may be done. Now remember, this is your footing. This is you putting your foot in the door, letting them know that one, after this, you'd give them like an interview so they can get to know you more personally. But since it's a letter, try your best to have them understand your background as in depth as possible so they can see why you're the best candidate for the scholarship or for the grant. Now, your letter of funding or to solicit fund should not include general statements. It should not include Jada Powel is a good student. No, why are you a good student? I've been a good student because I've received great grades despite of X and Y circumstances. I am a good student because I have also helped this many students to also overcome an obstacle in the course. Now, even though you are being specific, try not to over exaggerate your accomplishments. Of course, we can all tell when something is being exorbitantly exaggerated. Be true, but allow them to still understand where you're coming from and where you'd like to go. Now, it's best not to also include negative language or events unless it is something that you have learned from and have made active steps towards ensuring it won't happen again. Otherwise, it's best to leave it out and let them know that one, you require this funding more than anything, and two, why you should get the funding. Sorry, should apologize for this, but another prompt that you may receive is who do you admire rather and why? Now, a reason behind this prompt is scholarship organizers want to know more of your background. They want to know more of who you've been surrounded by and how they have influenced your life. Now, the best way to answer is to state your role model's name. It is best that you state what they've done to inspire you. So if it is your father, hint, hint, Father's Day is on Sunday. If it is your father, you could say my father is my role model because despite the negative connotations with fathers, he has been there throughout all the steps of my life. And it would be good to even show him on Father's Day before you send off your scholarship application. You can also let them know how you you can also let them know how you intend to tunnel this inspiration to fulfill your aspirations rather. Now, if your father is a very hardworking businessman and you are interested in learning more about business processes, you can state that although your father perhaps didn't have a formal education, you want to formalize yourself and become great like him, right? So it's good that you, one, name your role model, what they've done to inspire you, and you should also state how you will use this inspiration to tunnel your visions. A lot of the scholarship applicants, rather, when answering this question, they make a very crucial mistake, and this is to only focus on the role model. Now, although they've asked you about them, you also need to tie it in with who you are and how they have helped to clarify what you'd like to do in your life. So it can be a teacher, it can be your family members, it can be anyone that have had a significant impact on your life and have helped you to really develop as an individual and gain further clarity in what you'd like to do in life. Now, another scholarship prompt, and I found that this may even be asked in scholarship interviews. What are some things that you'd like to be fixed in Jamaica or your country, and how do you go about doing it? Another thing I should say is that, as you may see, they want to see that you are engaged in your community. They want to see that you're willing to make a change, not just for yourself, but for others. No, this can be tied back to your passion. As you see on the screen, say for instance, you live in a rural area and light may be an issue, right? Your passion of learning more about engineering school can be tied in with you learning to solve the issue and provide low budget solutions for communities like yours. Now, if you may know, there are several African individuals where they haven't grown up with light or water, and they've used remarkably innovative solutions to assist in creating solutions that will help not just themselves but the community. Now I'm going to stop sharing for a while because I do have further notes that I would like to divulge with you. But so far, that is the main base behind everything. You have to be as personable as you can so that scholarship organizations can really learn more about you and learn why you're the most ideal person for the funding. Now, there are several mistakes that persons make when writing their scholarship essays, and one of the greatest mistake is one, repeating the prompt in your essay. Of course, we know that we are all able to understand the question, but what is the most important part is how you're able to take the prompt and apply yourself to it. Now, the best way to start off an essay is to start off with a story. It doesn't have to be a traumatic experience. It doesn't have to be anything out of the ordinary, but start off with a bang. Remember, that's the first thing they read when they come on and see your application, right? No, as I stated, it should be written like an academic essay. Don't structure it like that. If you want to have your first sentence in the lightest font you can find, if you want to make it small, if you try it and as best as possible, tie in how you organize your essay based on the story you're writing, right? So if you are saying my father had the biggest impact in my life, it'd be good if you up the font for that. Usually for academic essays, it's the same font throughout. find the unique ways like that to grab the attention of your reader. Remember, they're reviewing hundreds of applications when going through, so it's best to stand out in a unique way. Another thing is not being organized with your thoughts, right? Even though you want to be as creative as possible, it still has to be readable, right? So it is best to, uh, as I said, start early. Once you've started early, you'll be able to go through several times. Let the creative juice flow. Remember, when you first start a draft, it's basic. Once you go through, sometimes when you wake up and look back at the essay, you may get another idea. Try not to rush, because especially when you're rushing things like these, I find that, as the saying goes, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. So to avoid all of that, try to start your applications as early as possible. Now, a good tip for writing your scholarship essay is to check your grammar, right? Especially say you are going to become a teacher. I'm not saying that we can't make mistakes, but with scholarship applications, usually there is a lengthy time for you to apply for the scholarship. So take your time, go through your essay, try and make it as grammar free or error free rather as possible when submitting. Now, let me go further. Another thing that you could do when soliciting funds is also attach a letter of recommendation. And please forgive me if I'm jumping from point to point, but as I go along, I would just like to add, I see that I'm a bit over time. Richard, is it okay if I continue?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, please let me know when you'd like me to wrap up.
Yeah, man. You can continue your presentation, and just a reminder to the persons on the call that you can put questions in the chat or you can raise your hand, and I'm sure Jada don't mind to be interrupted.
No, I'm fine with that. Please let me know if there are any questions or any concerns or anything that you'd like to clarify further. Now, another thing that you can add for your letter to solicit funds is to attach a letter of recommendation from influential rather persons in your life. So a recommendation letter is basically a cosign. It states that one, it backs up what you're saying, right? It gives you that credibility when you're signing or when you're giving in your documents. Now, several persons can give you your letter of recommendation, but what I would recommend is that you ask persons such as your teachers, preferably those that are teaching the subject that you'd like to pursue. So if you'd like to pursue medicine, it's best that you get your biology teacher, your chemistry teacher to write it for you. If you'd like to pursue marketing or IT, it's best to have your IT teacher co-sign for you. You can also ask community members or leaders, your pastors, your principals, your heads of departments at school. Those are the best persons to ask. Now, when you're going to request a letter of recommendation, it is best that you give them adequate time to write your letters. Now, I suggest the best thing to do is do a face-to-face request. If possible, given the COVID-19 restrictions, it's always best approach persons in person. One, it's a lot harder to say no to your face than over email. You can also have them ask more questions of you or from you to get a clear understanding of what you'd like to do in the future, so they can also include that. And After you've asked them face to face, be sure to follow up with an email, just reminding them about the request. And I would also recommend that when they're writing that recommendation letter for you, that they don't put the name of the scholarship on it, so that you're also able to reuse that letter for other scholarship applications. So they can make it general in terms of not writing the scholarship name, but they have to be as specific as possible when speaking about you, speaking about your accomplishments, speaking about how far you've grown as an individual, your personal development, and your other traits and characters. Right? What I would also suggest is that once asking for a letter of recommendation from others, is that you also include a resume. Sometimes they may not remember, and just like you've heard my bio, it is good when persons have adequate information to furnish what they're saying. So it's best to just give them more information than they may need, so that they can always choose and refuse the best parts to put in your letter of recommendation, so it can be as brilliant as you are. Now, the best things to put in your student resume is just a brief overview of your background and achievements, and this may include your education, the awards you've received, the activities or clubs you're a part of, your community or volunteer activities, your work experience, if any, and your skills.
Jada, I see a question in the chat from Kimberly.
Okay.
She's asking, should letters of recommendation... You're seeing it?
Yes, I'm seeing it. So Kimberly is asking, should letters of recommendations be written on an official letterhead? Yes, that is a preferred means to write your recommendation letter, or a preferred way to get it. However, if that is not possible, you could ask them to sign it and also write their contact information, so that if they have further questions, they can also get in touch with them afterwards. So it is preferred that you have the official letterhead, but if not, ask them to just drop their contact information in any case. I hope that answered your question, Kimberly. You're most welcome. Are there any other questions?
No, I'm not seeing in the chat.
All right, if there are no other questions, this would wrap up what I'm doing. However, I would just like to share a brief video of this, of one of the scholarship episodes I was privy to be a part of with a very popular foundation out there now. Their scholarship applications are actually open now. So I'm going to share my screen and just share just how personable the scholarship organizers would like you to be when applying for your scholarships. 1 second and I will share that with you. Okay.
We're not hearing the audio. You have to share audio.
Okay, 1 second.
There's a menu bar at the top. Just click on the 3 dots and choose share media audio.
Okay, I found it. Please let me know if you're hearing it.
A good GPA is vital, but who you become from your university experience is way more important. Hi, I'm Javel Stewart and I'm from Union Balaclava, St. Elizabeth, and I'm 21 years old. I grew up in a small sugarcane farming community in St. Elizabeth. I have a passion for service, not necessarily in hospitality, but hospitality is a very fast-paced environment and it helps you to grow, and I'm all for opportunities to grow. The world is your oyster. Don't hold yourself back at all. Just do what you have to do. Apply. You don't know. It might just be you. Thank you, Jada. Thank you to everybody there.
Okay, so that short video basically just encapsulated the fact that when doing your scholarship presentation, as I said, you want to be as true to who you are as possible, and let them know your background. For Javel, for instance, she shared how one day her mom just woke up. Say, Javel, write scholarship to JWN requesting funding. And from there, she's gotten funding for about 10 years, just letting them know her story and how greatly neat she is, but also how passionate she is about the tourism industry and how she'd like to continue on her journey. Now, I'm also seeing another comment here from Abigail, and let me just read it. Hello, sometimes the scholarship prompt is why should you be given this financial assistance? This is a good question. However, I find that it can be difficult to add your personal experience or be creative within the word limits. Can you provide some tips? Okay. Now that is a great question. I understand that sometimes the scholarship word limit may be 250 words or 500 words, or even in some cases where there are a lot of applicants, I've seen where they've reduced it to 100 words, like the NCB scholarship when I applied. Now, the best way to answer this question is to be as detailed as possible. Perhaps you'd want to let them know about your living conditions, or even if you want to go as far as to let them know about what you have in your fridge, or what, I don't know, but find a creative way to let them know that, hey, I don't have the money for X, much less to pay for my tuition. So it can be difficult to add your personal experience, but in writing that you don't have funding, you can also state that even though you don't have funding, it hasn't stopped you from going after your goals, from helping others, from pursuing your education and getting your grades, despite the lack of funding. All right, could you please try?
Jada, I have a follow-up question to Abigail.
Yes, go ahead.
If someone is not from a destitute background, and they're not poor and scraping to live,
Yes.
how do they express the need for a scholarship in
That's a great
SA?
question. That's a great question. So in that case, they would fall under the category of a merit-based scholarship applicant. Basically, there are two types of scholarship applicants. They both follow under these two categories. That is need-based, meaning that you don't have the necessary funds for the scholarship, for your tuition, sorry, and merit-based, where it is more so heavy on your academic pursuits or on your involvement or your sports. Now, for the merit-based in particular, persons who apply for these scholarships aren't necessarily destitute, as you would have said. Perhaps they come from a regular family household, but they would just like that assistance with the scholarship tuition. Now, the best way to apply for these is to state your involvement, focus more on what you'd like to do. You don't necessarily have to, as I said, go into any hardships. Not everyone has the same background. If you don't have any hardships, it's okay. It's It's important though that you let them know that you are passionate about making a difference. I think that's what a lot of scholarship organizers want to know, that you are intentional about what you want to do and that you'd like to make a difference in the lives of others. I think if you've looked on most of the foundation's mottos, you would see something along those lines, like making a difference in our communities, helping others, building others. So if you even want to take their motto and kind of base it on your scholarship essay and state how you've helped others, state how you have really been a crucial part of community building, that is great. You don't necessarily have to be from a destitute background or anything like that. But if you can state how you are passionate about what you do and passionate about helping others, then that is fine as well.
Okay, thank you. You see Jackie's question?
Yes, I just want to ensure, Abigail, did I answer your question correctly or did I answer it adequately? Please let me know. You can open your mic, by the way.
Yes, good night.
Yes.
Sometimes I think that okay, after stating that, you have this issue, or sometimes I don't have, as much as an issue financially, but, you feel like that's like a few lines. Actually, you're writing less than the word limit, because yes, you get to the detail of, you have this need, but what else is like, what else should you write? How do you expound on that? But thank you for explaining, and yes, you explain what I asked.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, you're asking what else you can expound on.
Yes.
So as I said, Abigail, when you are starting, it is best to start with a story. It doesn't have to be anything long and drawn out. And with that story, you're able to make additional references in your essay further down the line, and that will help to bulk up your essay if you don't have everything, or if you don't have as many words to put in your essay. It's also good to just go back through any documents that you may have, refresh your memory of any awards that you may have got, because sometimes you just genuinely forget about everything that you have done in the past. So it is good to refresh what you have done and just also include those.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm seeing here Jackie's asking for a scholarship of a grades. Sorry, an example of a grade scholarship letter. I don't think I have one of my scholarship letters open right now, but I see your hand up, Jackie. You can go ahead.
Yes, it is based on the thought that Abigail was asking what else could be written, and I want to ask the question. If you start your letter by, say, congratulating the company, would that be wise, or would it be seen as you being too desperate?
To be honest, it really all depends on how you go about it. Say for example, it is Grace's 100th anniversary, right? And that's why I say when you are applying for a scholarship, it's good to do research about a company so that you're able to tie in what the company is doing now into your essay. So if you're going to go that route and say congrats Grace, right, and preface it to say that you'd want to build something as grand as that, or be able to have a foundation like that to help others, you can do that, right? That's just an example, but as I said, when you are writing to any scholarship, it's good to always know what they're about, It's good to know about the founders. It's good to know why they opened the scholarship. It's good to even reach out to past scholarship winners in the past and see if there is any assistance that you may receive from them in terms of what they're looking for and the ideal candidate based on their selection. I'm not sure if I have.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I could try and see if I could find one of my scholarship application letters. Let me pause my sharing. Richard, how much time do I have left? Because I've gone over a bit. Do you have anything else planned?
Well, after your presentation, I'm gonna speak to the AYF scholarship opportunities. So you can, what I'll do, I'll start to speak to it while you search for that letter on your system, and then I'll come back to you once you find it.
Okay, so I can't guarantee that I will find it, but I will try and find something so you guys have a clear understanding of what you mean.
All right.
1 second.
Okay. All right. This is the Adopt a Youth Foundation Instagram page. Please go on and follow us on Instagram. We have a lot of very interesting and important content that can help you. One of the posts we have on Instagram is our scholarship, the Next Move Jamaica International and Adopt a Youth Foundation scholarship. This is valued for 5 mentors or mentees from the foundation. So you have to be a member of the AYF to qualify, and you can get $25,000 towards your education. Now, this is open to Jamaican nationals that are either in high school, community college, or universities in Jamaica. And you have to be a current member of the Adopt a Youth Foundation. There is a registration application form here, a Google form. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. When you click on that link, it takes you to this page where you can submit your application for one of the 5 scholarships. It goes through the requirement for the scholarship, which includes submitting the application form and an essay. You have the choice of writing an essay on one of 2 topics. And I heard Jada speaking to one of them, right? Well, the first one is, how is inflation affecting you psychologically, economically, and your career path? That is one essay you could write on, 500 words or less. Or you could choose to write on the second essay topic. I think Jada mentioned it in her presentation. How can you contribute to changing one issue that you think is wrong in the Jamaican society? How can you contribute to changing one issue that is wrong in the Jamaican society? So you'll be asked to upload information. If you're moving from primary or prep school to high school, then your prep information, CXC grade if you're transitioning to sixth form, or you're transitioning to university, or your university transcript or your college transcript. You can add a file here and a resume, photo, and so forth. The scholarship closes on the 31st of July. The deadline is 31st of July at midnight Jamaica time, right? If you are not a member of AYF, you can register or you can apply to be a member of the AYF tonight. So I'm going to drop a Google form also in the chat where you can apply to become a member of the AYF and apply for the scholarship immediately. There is no wait time. As long as you have an approved application form for membership, you can apply for the scholarship immediately. Right? I want to tell you that we are very excited to give away the scholarship. Come and get it. So after you get a scholarship, there is no obligation. There's no obligation once you get the scholarship. What we are asking you to do, however, is use the money towards your education. Don't use it to buy a new phone just to bling out on people. Use it towards your education. Use it to buy school supplies, pay towards your school fees. If you're in high school, most high schools, the fees are within this range or less. So it can help parents. And if you're at university, this can cover some costs of books and so forth. Okay, so that is for the Next Move Jamaica International, which is an entity led by Christopher Grant, one of the directors of the Adopt a Youth Foundation. He and his wife, they are not living in Jamaica right now, but they're Jamaicans and they have a passion for helping, and they are putting up resources to help fund these scholarships. So we are very happy for their heart of gold and for their contribution. So they're partnering with the Adopt a Youth Foundation to offer these scholarships to high school, community college, and university students. Any questions on this? I saw the question about the application. I'm going to find the Google form and share it with you momentarily. Any question on the scholarship from the AYF? Okay. All right, Jada, you found, did you find the sample that you could share? The sample essay? You know, you're searching your system. Jada, are you there? Thank you, Jackie. I see Jackie shared the scholarship form in our WhatsApp group. For a second there, I thought it was the application for AYF. Right. Jada, I see your mic is muted. Are you still searching for that essay? You can share it as soon as you find it.
Yes, I have found one. Let me share my screen with you all. Now, this is the Burger King scholarship essay I had written a while back. I will just read it for you all. Excited, deflated, hopeful. Within a span of a few minutes, these were the emotions that coursed through my body when I thought of this scholarship. At first, I was overwhelmed with the joy to know that my inner turmoil of choosing where I would attend university, and most importantly, how I would be able to afford it, was resolved. I instantly gathered all the necessary documents to apply. However, in the midst of doing so, I received an email from my principal encouraging all girls to apply. My resolve to enter had now almost diminished into thin air, as for me, this signified that this significantly reduced my chance of being this year's recipient. However, I was reassured by the fact that this scholarship would be based on not just academic merit, but also it focused on my entire application. This rekindled the desire within me, and thus I began. But first, who is Jada Powell? And why should I be awarded this scholarship? Well, there are many things that I am certain about myself. Three of these are my unquenchable thirst for knowledge despite the lack of financial aid, my passion for marketing, and my mission of making a significant difference in the lives of others. In most circumstances, the future remains unclear for many. The decisions taken will inevitably affect the course of one's life. I can directly attest to that, as my mother had me when she was only a child herself. For me, it is both a blessing and a misfortune. For one, I am able to learn from her mistakes, but on the other hand, it has somewhat handicapped my life as I am not able to afford the simple things in life that the average person takes for granted. However, I believe that because of this experience, I am able to efficiently cope with life's challenges. One second, it seems to have paused. Yes, life's challenges. Hence, when other atrocities happened, such as the death of my father and us becoming homeless for mere months before my exams, I was able to turn my stumbling block into a stepping stone. These experiences have helped me to embody the noble characteristics of a creative director, which is to constantly strive for success through the exploration of a new and innovative strategies. In the completion of my CCSEC examinations, I successfully attained all 8 subjects taken in May-June 2018, more specifically 6 2s and 2 1s. This for me was a great feat as I had not received most of my textbooks required for my subjects. Others may have been discouraged by this, however, I fervently agree with the noble words. All great and honorable actions are accomplished with great difficulties, stated by Williams Wordsworth. My interest in my studies was evident to my teachers who would assist me with my studies. This was a major push for me as I had a community of persons who were willing to support in my endeavors. My mantra, to whom much is given, much is expected, has served as a motivation to give back to my community. I believe that although I may not currently possess the average things in life, I can still make a difference in someone else's, whether by assisting with the cleanup of children's and old age homes, teaching toddlers the basic life-saving swim techniques, or giving encouragement through service. Correspondingly, I have been thrice recognized for the exceptional service I have given to my external community by being awarded the Public Spirit Award I have given to my external community by being awarded the Public Spirit Award, as my community service hours have surpassed 300 hours. I feel blessed that I'm given the opportunity to partake in the application of this scholarship, which will open the door that will commence the fulfillment of my dreams. I will prove that I do have what it takes to not only become a successful student, but also an outstanding creative director. I intend to use my knowledge to further guide young Jamaican entrepreneurs, as I believe that rooted in the core of all Jamaicans is an overwhelming amount of creativity and drive that can unleash unimaginable opportunities. If given this opportunity, I will educate our future leaders about business operations, communications, and public branding in an effort to fulfill my duty to serve others in all capacities. One of my scholarship, I believe the prompt was to ask simply why do you deserve the scholarship. So I chose to go in depth about my background, about what I have done, about my service to others, about what I tend to do at the university level and afterwards. I really just went into all different aspects, and as you can see, I kind of started with how I felt. No, it's a lot of questions applied, and of course you're going to be intimidated, and I wanted them to know, although you know, I was a little bit shy, and I just wanted them to know how real and authentic I am, and how grateful I would be to receive this opportunity. So of course you don't have to um to be as um you don't have to do it word for word as me, of course, but just let the scholarship organizers know your story, know your background, and what this scholarship really will mean to you once you've received it. Are there any further questions? I hope I've answered everything for you all.
That's an awesome letter.
Thank you.
It's a wow for me. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any questions? You have the opportunity to type in the chat or to raise your hand, as we're about to wrap up the session. So this is your last opportunity to ask Jada before the session ends. And if somebody's typing, you need to give them at least 15 seconds, right? Before they finish the sentence, and then they press enter, right? And since I said it about 20 seconds ago, they have an extra 5 seconds to say amen.
You may also unmute your mic. Okay, so I wasn't a recipient of that scholarship, however, I was called back to do interviews a year afterwards. However, given that my interview scholarship paid for everything, all of my tuition, and then some, I deferred the scholarship. So they actually called me back the next year. However, as I said, I already got an interview scholarship.
So you were wealthy.
How you go about applying for the Cabrera scholarship? What you can do is send me a message on my Scholars JA page, and I can help you with that.
All right. That is on your Instagram. Send you a DM on Instagram.
Yes, you can send me a DM on Instagram.
Okay, and that is the Instagram for Scholars JA. Any other question? Well, I must say that this has been a very good evening. Thank you very much for sharing with us, Jada. We appreciate you taking the time out of your Friday evening when you could be partying, right? Also want to say thanks for all those who came on this evening to be a part of this personal development session. Every Friday, the Adopt a Youth Foundation has the sessions starting at 7 o'clock, where we share nuggets from people who are experts in their field to help develop our youth among us so that you can access the best things in life. So if you found value in what Jada shared tonight, could you put some 10s in the chat? Some 10, 1 0, 1 0, 1 0, 1 0, right? Put some 1 zeros, right? Because you get, probably I should say hundreds, because a full 100, right? All right. Again, thank you very much for sharing with us, Jada. Thank you, everyone, for coming on tonight. And
thank you for having me all. Thank you so much for just being so receptive. If there are anyone that would need additional assistance with your with your letters or just a general help, as of course I can assist you in applying, in your mock interviews, in anything scholarship related. You can always send me a DM and I'll be more than happy to assist.
Okay, and with respect to the foundation, if you need further information about the foundation, you can send an email to adoptauja@gmail.com. It has been my pleasure sharing with you this evening. We look forward to seeing you next week when we have another great session in the Adopt a Youth Foundation personal development session. Have a good night, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.